I've always been a curious person. I like to see things for myself. That's how we ended up here. This is a strip mine in central Pennsylvania. Someone keeps shooting a gun in the valley below. But we can't turn back now. This is what we came to see. The story starts here, on 4th Street in the East Village, New York City. This is me, Karina. I'm about to set out on a strange journey to follow one flush from the East Village to wherever it ends up. If you asked me why, I'd tell you it's because of Hurricane Sandy, when billions of gallons of raw sewage overflowed into homes and local waterways. Or I'd tell you it's because the drought out west is getting worse, and I read that toilets are the biggest consumer of water in our homes. But if I'm being honest, it's because I'm curious. The fact is, I have no clue what happens after I flush, and I don't think that's a good thing. When things are out of sight and out of mind, there's usually a reason. So I decided I needed to see for myself. But first, I wanted to find out whether other New Yorkers are as clueless as I am. So I asked Sean Schaffner, founder of the Poop Project, to find out what New Yorkers know about what happens after they flush.
I want you to find some people on the street to talk to about where they think their flush goes.
Okay, well, then let's ask them.
I mean, I've seen Finding Nemo, so I know it goes to the ocean. All pipes lead to the ocean, of course.
That was an answer we got a lot. Others said something along the lines of,
something away from like downtown area.
Okay, so it turns out a lot of New Yorkers are as clueless as I am. I wanted to follow a real flush, so I teamed up with a local sustainability organization to follow the flush from their office.
Hey guys, can you tell me where the bathroom is?
So the first step is easy. The toilet in this office uses about 1.5 gallons of water to carry my flush out of sight. That means Americans use nearly 2 trillion gallons of clean drinking water every year to flush their toilets.
Here we go.
That's as far as I could follow the flush myself. So I called in sewer expert Leif Persifield.
All right, I've got the map pulled up on my site here. And you can see the map. Here's the pointer. We are on East 4th here in the East Village. And our flush starts here in the toilet and goes down into the pipes in the basement, goes out into the street. This is where all the buildings in this neighborhood are connected to the same pipe. And that pipe leads out to the East River, which is this orange dot here. I think that's probably where we should head to. In New York, we have what's called a combined sewer system.
That means that everything that goes down our toilets, sinks, and tubs gets combined with all the rain on the streets.
The pipes in the city only have a certain capacity. They're only a certain size. And as little as 1/10 of an inch of rain over an hour can fill those pipes up beyond capacity of what the sewage treatment plant can handle. And so that excess sewage has to go somewhere. And instead of backing up into people's houses, we just let it go out into the river, untreated and unfiltered.
Leif and I head over to the East River about a mile away in search of the exact spot my flush would overflow on a rainy day.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here it is. Yeah, caution, wet weather discharge point. No swimming, no boating, no fishing. This outfall may discharge rainwater mixed with untreated sewage and can contain bacteria that can cause illnesses.
According to Leif, there's more than 490 signs like this around New York City, where we dump 30 billion gallons of sewage every year. We couldn't access the overflow where my flush goes, so Leif took me to this one in Brooklyn. During a storm, he explained, raw sewage would come pouring out of this tunnel straight into the water. This is bad news for local fishermen, swimmers downstream, and life in the river. It makes me wonder whether our sewer system, which was built 150 years ago before there were superstorms and 8 million New Yorkers, is actually sustainable. The journey doesn't stop here. On a dry day, my flush would go to this enormous pump station in Lower Manhattan, where it gets pushed all the way beneath the East River to a treatment plant in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. So my next step is to visit the treatment plant, and this is where things get weird. I reach out to the Department of Environmental Protection for permission to film an upcoming tour of the plant. I get no response, so I contact someone else. My request is forwarded to someone else, who never gets back to me. They CC me on an internal email saying that they've looked me up. Finally, they tell me no cameras allowed on the tour, but they're happy to arrange another time for me to film. When I follow up to schedule the shoot, I get forwarded to someone else, who forwards me to someone else. Eventually, I'm told my request can't be accommodated at this time. For now, I watch from outside the fence as my flush travels through this maze of yellow and silver, where the biological stuff gets separated from the tampons and Q-tips and condoms, through these massive metallic eggs where good bacteria eats up the bad stuff, and here where the treated wastewater is let back into the river. I'm not sure whether they're giving me the runaround, or maybe they really do get flooded with requests. Maybe I'm not high enough on the food chain. I do know that it's incredibly frustrating that I can't get access to this thing I pay for with my tax dollars, that my children will pay for with their tax dollars. I do my research and find out that what leaves the plant in this boat is a muddy substance called toxic sludge or biosolids, depending on who you ask. It turns out there's a heated debate about what to do with my flush once it's reached this point. I found parents who say this muddy substance killed their son, and farmers who say it saved their fields. All I know is that New York produces 1,200 tons of this stuff a day, and I've got to find out where it goes. I contact the Biosolids Management Division in Albany, who forwards my question to someone else, who forwards my question to someone else. I get a letter saying that my request has triggered the Freedom of Information law, and that it will be some time before that information will be supplied. Eventually, I find this, a press release announcing that We Care Organics has a contract for $56 million to handle New York's sludge and ships it to rural eastern Pennsylvania, where they do something called mine reclamation. We Care Organics' website points me to the city of Tremont, where I find this, a mine. I jump in the car with my friend Sean to see this for ourselves. The trip is 188 miles.
I'm just thinking about the fact that every ship in New York takes this journey, right? Like it's 3 hours almost.
As we drive, I can't help thinking about our gas tank and how long we've been on the road. When I flushed that toilet some 200 miles back, it didn't cost me anything. Or maybe it did. The water, the energy, the gas, the time, someone's paying for it, and I'm starting to get the feeling it's me. We find the mine from the map and hike to the top. As we crest over the hill, my heart almost stops with the beauty of it. Jackpot. A huge pile that looks distinctly like dried up poop. But then Sean goes in for a closer look and a sniff. We're in the wrong place. This is an old mineral mine, nothing more. We hop back on the road to find another mine, and two locals point us to this place. So we hike. And we hike. And we hike. And after hours of searching and guns in the distance and dead ends and unanswered emails and Freedom of Information requests, we're exhausted. And it's dark and I'm starting to get scared. I feel we have no choice but to turn back. Does We Care Organics even exist? And why is this so hard? I'm still full of doubt when I get home and check the map and find out that we stopped just a mile shy of what looks like the We Care Organics operation. The funny thing is, when I dig a little deeper, I find that We Care is basically a composting business. It's not perfect, but it's not evil. And I'm back to having more questions than answers. In retrospect, I realize that when you're looking for a scandal, you can sometimes miss the truth. And the truth is, the journey of my flush isn't all good or all bad. Like most things, it's complicated. I saw firsthand that the way we flush is problematic and polluting and wasteful. And there's a lot we don't know about how it affects our health and the environment. But it's also a solution to our modern way of life. But I know we can do better. We'll have to. I'm already trying to play my part. I'm flushing less, especially when it rains, and I've gotten curious about whether there might be a different way to deal with what we flush. But right now, the only thing I know for sure is that I want everyone to see what I've seen.